2019 Ford Ranger is the Toy Story 4 of trucks. I know it's a stretch, but bear with me. Up until 2018, there have been 3 generations of Ford Ranger manufactured here in the US of A. In that same period of time, Pixar has released 3 heartwarming, make you feel fuzzy inside, great friendship Toy Story films. Coincidence? I don't think so. We're going bumper to bumper on the 2019 Ford Ranger, my favorite vehicle of the year so far, and the Toy Story 4 of trucks.
There's a snake in my boot.
The Ranger has come a long way since its birth in America in 1983, 12 years before Post Malone was born. The final Ford Ranger, produced in North America, rolled off the Twin Cities assembly line on December 22nd, 2011. To learn more about that story, check out this episode of Up to Speed, but keep watching this video. Fast forward 8 years and bam, Emeril Lagasse. Ford has brought the Ranger back to America and produced this beaut. Now, Ford has kept true to what made the Ranger such an appealing truck in its heyday. It's reliable, like Woody from Toy Story 4. It's tough, like Buzz from Toy Story 4. It's hardworking, like Sarge, but it also has some new features that are sure to leave a pretty little smile on your face. I want to remind you guys that neither Ford or Pixar are paying us to make this video. I'm just a fan of the Toy Story franchise and the Ford Ranger pickup truck. The backbone of every good truck is the chassis. That's why the smarty pants engineers over at Ford decided to ditch the 3rd gen chassis architecture and created an all new, fully boxed, 6 cross-member, high-strength steel frame. If the chassis were a character from the upcoming Pixar film Toy Story 4, it'd be Buzz. He's tough, he's sturdy, he's also a space ranger. The front fascia and bumper were also redesigned, replacing the integrated plastic bumper with a steel bumper mounted separately from the bodywork. This Ranger is equipped with Ford's top-of-the-line off-road package, the FX4. It gets 16-gauge high-strength steel bash plate meant for bashing and front tow hooks to pull your dumb buddies out when they get stuck trying to impress the lady folk. It's got 3 frame-mounted skid plates that cover the fuel tank, the transfer case, the front differential to prevent damage from rocks and debris, or when you're riding over Priuses in the city. JK, most of the race car drivers I know drive Priuses. The new Ranger comes in 3 different trim levels, the XL, the XLT, and like this one, the Lariat. And for some reason, unbeknownst to moi, there will not be a Splash Edition. Why? Max, play that Splash commercial. Check out that font on the bed. You know he knows how to party. Surf party. God! Yes! It also comes in 2 different cab types, an extended super cab or a crew cab. You want a single cab? Too bad, go overseas. This truck here is a Lariat Super Cab painted up in the hot pepper red. It's not just a red pepper, okay? Don't get it twisted, it's a hot red pepper. And if the color of this truck were a Toy Story character, I know you're wondering, it would be Jessie. She's got a fiery spirit and red hair to match, boy. She's cool. We dated, like, all through 8th grade. Now, to all my foreign friends watching, what's up? Thanks. This version of the Ranger might be pretty familiar to you. I'll refer to it as the Foreign Lone Ranger, AKA Zorro, which has been sold in Australia, South Africa, South America, Asia, Europe, and pretty much everywhere else on the freaking planet except in America. Ford. Since 2012. They did a minor mid-cycle facelift in 2015, 20 years after Post Malone was born, but it has remained fairly unchanged since the major revamp 7 years ago. It's new to us, old to you. But whatever, we can be excited. Don't be a Ranger Dick, guys. Be a Ranger Rick. The Ranger comes in 2 different bed length options, a 5-footer for the crew cab or the James Pumphrey option, 6-footer in the extended cab. However, neither bed has the option for old school flare sides. Flare sides are freaking cool, dude. Ford told us the #1 question people ask when buying a new truck is, can you lay a tarp down in the back and fill her with water to make a truck bed hot tub? Well, you could if you wanted, because this 4x4 Super Cab configuration can carry up to 1,650 big old LBs in the back. That's 8 Nolans or 10 me's. I'm svelte, remember? All right, cool, but what if you want to throw an actual hot tub on a trailer and pull that behind you? You think the Ranger can do that? Rhetorical question. Yes, it can. All 2019 Ranger models have a best-in-class 7,500-pound towing capacity. That's 37.5 Nolans or 45.5 repeated me's. Do the math, I'm 164 pounds. Now, you may be wondering why this particular Ranger has a big old box on top of it. Well, it's a tent. Ford recently announced a partnership with Yakima to offer gear specifically for the Ranger, like this Skyrise rooftop tent sitting on their Outpost HD truck rack.
Welcome to my crib, thanks for coming by. This is a tent on top of a 2019 Ford Ranger. You know, nothing special, but you know, I got the vaulted ceilings, got some skylights, got plenty of storage space right here. I got my roommate over there, he's just chilling out. Roommate. Of course, it's where all the magic happens. Right, you've seen my crib, you've seen my car. Now, get the heck out.
Supporting all that weight is accomplished by single parabolic Hotchkiss type non-independent leaf springs. You don't know what those are? Well, I'm gonna tell you. A parabolic spring is basically a leaf or set of leaves which are tapered in a parabolic way rather than a linear. This allows the truck to carry more weight in the bed, an astonishing amount for a truck of this size, and it also helps to make the ride more stable. Now, the bed of the truck is ham, obviously. He's hefty, but plush, much like the rear suspension of the Ranger. I'm doing it. Now that we've talked about the rear suspension, let's go see what this truck's got on up front. The front suspension is a double wishbone ranch independent design with nitrogen-filled shocks. 100% nitrogen. Sorry oxygen, sorry argon, sorry minute concentrations of noble gases in the air. You don't come inside the shock club. Sorry, bro, you're too young. This truck has the 18-inch wheel option, and boy, they're chromy. Not my personal preference, but this thing basically has all of the options, so I'm sure that they just checked every box. Those are mounted on 265, 60, 18 hand-cooked Dynapro ATMs, leaving you rolling with 8.9 inches of ground clearance. Is 8.9 inches a lot of ground clearance? Well, the only other truck in the mid-size market that beats that is the Tacoma with 9.4 inches of clearance. But I mean, come on, half an inch isn't that much, right? Right? Pop open the all-aluminum hood in this Ranger Danger and you get a 2.3-liter EcoBoost producing 270 bullseye horsepower and a best-in-class 310-pound-feet of torque, getting you down the road from 0 to 60 in 6.9 seconds. That's fast horse. This is the same motor that's in the Explorer, the Focus, and the Stang. It's a 16-valve, inline-4 with dual overhead cams and a twin-scroll turbocharger, letting you scroll twice as fast. The twin scroll design allows for quicker boost response and improved turbine efficiency. It's the most fuel efficient truck in its class with an EP estimated 21 McJeezys in the street and 26 MPGZs on the highway for a combined total 23 MPGZs. Looking for a different power option in your new American-made Ranger? Well, I'm sorry, my fellow US surveyors, we don't get one. Well, the foreign Ranger gets its choice of diesel options. We here in the States don't get to choose what goes under our hood. It's like a claw machine, and the only thing that's inside are identical little green aliens. That's your engine option right there. You only get one. There's no bonus Woody or Buzz. I'm committed, I'm doing it. Sue me. Actually, don't sue me if you're Pixar, please. Okay, so we only get one engine to choose from, but what about the tranny? How about like a 5 or 6 speed manual in here? Then we can call it even Steven. No hard feelings. Sorry, fellow Americanos, you only get one option, and no, it's not a manual. But that's not really a surprise. Let's not get too teary-eyed though. The Ranger comes equipped with Ford's 10R80 transmission, a longitudinal 10-speed that was jointly developed by Ford and GM. Weird! The 10-speed creates a lot less fall-off in engine speed between gears and allows for continuous, bottle smooth pulling power. The little bo peep of the Ranger is the interior. She's ditched the pink polka dots and now has an all-new look. Did you see her in the trailer? She's not fucking around. She's hot now. Like the exterior of the truck, the interior has changed quite a bit since we last saw the Ranger here in the States, with various options depending on trim level. Probably the most underrated feature in the cab that I've yet to mention, it's got a real handbrake. The electric thing makes it a parking brake, not an emergency brake. For all you off-road junkies, the Ranger has a terrain management system with 4 selectable driving modes. Ooh, that's a lot of modes, dude. Each mode alters transmission gearing, throttle response, and steering control depending on you guessed it, the terrain. There's also a trail control function. Think of it as off-road cruise control. Set a speed and the Ranger will maintain it on the trail auto-magically, sending power to each of the 4 wheels independently to maintain momentum. That way you can sit back, relax, and hang your feet out the window, true Florida people style. The back is big enough for 1 large adult son. Once you squeeze him back there, there's 2 USB charging points and a 400-watt power inverter that'll run your Margaritaville machine. Those power outlets come in handy because, you know, boys like Nolan just love their devices. I try and limit his screen time, but sometimes I'm just like, do whatever as long as it keeps you occupied. Parents know what I'm talking about.
Are we there yet?
I will cancel this father-son trip. Dare me!
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too, young boy. I love you.
Me too.
Are you watching Daddy's show? Mm-hmm. Creepy. They kept what worked and added new stuff to make it even better. So that's why, as a total package, the Ford Ranger as a whole is most like Slinky Dog. He's man's best friend. He goes away, and then he comes back. Kind of like how the Ranger went away, and then it came back. He's not super flashy, but that doesn't matter because everyone knows him and everyone loves him. And to put the cherry on top, Slinky Dog is voiced by Jim Varney, who played Ernest in Ernest Saves Christmas. And in that movie, he drove a 1972 Ford F-100 Ranger. All right, guys, we obviously went out on a limb with this one. Kind of a different approach to a car review. Tell us what you think down in the comments. Are you excited for the new Toy Story movie? Because I freaking am. Every Tuesday, we're gonna be doing this until the day I die. Keep watching my Thursday show, Up to Speed, every Thursday. Watch Nolan's show, Wheelhouse, on Mondays. Follow me on Instagram, @Pumphrey. Follow Donut on Instagram, @DonutMedia. Small disclaimer, in earnest, he drove an F-100. We think it was a debadged Ranger. We're 99% sure. Again, let us know in the comments what you think. I love you.